Welcome to the Weird and Unexplained. Today we're talking about the weird world of Thanksgiving. Imagine this, it's late November. The air smells like cinnamon candles, turkey grease, and the faint panic of someone realizing they forgot to thaw the bird. The TV plays football no one actually cares about. Cousins you haven't seen since last Thanksgiving are arguing over politics. And yes, there's Aunt Laurie and Uncle Donald, already 3 sangrias deep, asking if you're seeing anyone yet. Your brother Chris and Dad Mike are passed out in the living room, while a beagle named Colt is passed out in Chris's arms. Welcome to Thanksgiving, the national holiday that manages to combine gratitude, gluttony, and chaos in equal measure. In today's episode, we're diving deep into the weird, messy, and surprisingly fascinating traditions that make Thanksgiving the most wonderfully strange time of the year. Let's start with the obvious star of the show, the dinner table. Thanksgiving is supposed to be a feast of gratitude and togetherness. But in reality, it is a hodgepodge of regional quirks and culinary controversies that could fuel a week of family debates. In the South, you might find deep-fried turkeys, because apparently roasting one wasn't dangerous enough. There's an unspoken competition in some neighborhoods. Who can deep-fry the biggest bird without setting their garage on fire? Each year, firefighters across the country brace for this unofficial Thanksgiving sport. In fact, more than 1,000 house fires happen every year from deep-fryer incidents. Perhaps blame your Uncle Roy? Each year, firefighters across the country brace for this unofficial Thanksgiving sport. In fact, more than 1,000 house fires happen every year from deep fryer incidents. America really knows how to celebrate. Then there's the stuffing versus dressing debate. It's not just food, it's identity. North of the Mason-Dixon line, it's stuffing. Down south, it's dressing. And no matter what you call it, Grandma insists hers is the only right version. And don't forget the side dish lineup. Green bean casserole with crispy onions, invented in the 1950s by a Campbell's test kitchen. Question: who decided marshmallows belong on sweet potatoes? There's something wonderfully bizarre about a meal that combines gravy, cranberry sauce, and sugar-coated vegetables. But the piece de resistance is the turkey itself. It's a bird so sacred in the American imagination that we pardon it, name it, and photograph it on White House lawns. Meanwhile, most people admit they don't even like turkey that much. Dry, flavorless, and exhausting to cook. Yet it remains the non-negotiable centerpiece. Why? Because Thanksgiving isn't about taste, it's about ritual. It's about doing the same thing every year, even if it makes no sense, which, if you think about it, is the entire definition of a tradition. Next up, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. An event so gigantic and surreal that it might be the closest thing America has to a collective fever dream. It began in 1924 as a way for Macy's employees, many of them immigrants, to celebrate their new American life. The first parade featured live animals borrowed from the Central Park Zoo. Imagine elephants marching down Broadway, a logistical nightmare, but apparently festive. By the late 1920s, the live zoo replaced the animals with giant rubber balloons, and the world never looked back. These days, millions of people tune in every year to watch massive inflatable icons like Pikachu, Snoopy, and SpongeBob float between Manhattan skyscrapers while lip-syncing pop stars wave from corporate-sponsored stages. The strangest part? New Yorkers love to show up the night before to watch the balloon inflation. It's like a block party for nostalgia junkies. Parents take their kids, couples go on dates, and everyone stares in collective wonder at a giant inflated cartoon dog tied down by sandbags. It's magical, weirdly patriotic, and completely commercial. The perfect American trifecta. Now, let's talk about the part of Thanksgiving that really tests your strength. Family togetherness. Thanksgiving is when all the world's introverts pray for invisibility. Across the country, dining rooms transform into emotional battlegrounds where relatives argue about cranberry sauce, politics, or whether you should really be vegan on Thanksgiving of all days. Families also invent their own mini traditions to survive the day. Some play elaborate board game tournaments. Others compete in what is affectionately known as the turkey trot, a pre-dinner charity run that helps justify eating 3 plates of mac and cheese later. There's always that one uncle who claims he could have gone pro if not for a bad knee, jogging proudly in a shirt that says, "Run now, gravy later." And then there's the kids' table, the social Siberia of every Thanksgiving. It's where you learn to avoid peas and to trade rolls for pea slices. For some, it's a lifelong memory of being just 1 year away from the grown-up table. For others, It's where lifelong bonds and food fights were forged. Thanksgiving has a unique power to bring people together and absolutely exhaust them in the same breath. Nothing says Thanksgiving like a background soundtrack of football commentary. Even if no one in the house, like your friend Justin, watches football the rest of the year, somehow the TV stays on all day. Since 1934, the Detroit Lions have hosted a Thanksgiving Day game, joined later by Dallas and now a rotating slate of others. It's the unofficial halftime show for your digestion. And then, as the turkey coma sets in, the true madness begins. Black Friday. It's amazing, really. A holiday meant for gratitude immediately transitions into a day for rampant bargain hunting. Once upon a time, people camped outside of stores at 3 a.m. for doorbusters. Now, thanks to online sales, we scroll through apps at midnight, pretending we're still in the spirit of Thanksgiving. Yet deep down, everyone knows it's part of the ritual, burning off stuffing calories by wrestling over a discounted TV. In some ways, it's the perfect metaphor for modern America. Fiercely thankful one minute, fiercely competitive the next. Every year, the president takes part in one of the country's most surreal political performances, the National Thanksgiving Turkey Presentation. A live turkey is brought to the White House, given a name like Liberty or Peanut Butter, and officially pardoned. The lucky bird then lives out its golden years on a farm while millions of its peers fulfill their Thanksgiving destiny. The tradition dates back to the 1940s, though it didn't become an official pardon until the late 1980s. It's part show, part symbolism, and 100% absurd. Still, Americans love it, maybe because it's one of the few moments of pure goofy celebration left in politics. Now, let's pause the fun for a moment. Thanksgiving, for all its warmth, also carries complex history. The holiday grew from a 17th century feast between English settlers and Wampanoag people, a gathering that has been mythologized far beyond its truth. The early Thanksgivings varied widely, and the idyllic pilgrim story taught in schools is often a simplified version that overlooks the painful realities of colonization and indigenous loss. Today, many indigenous communities observe the National Day of Mourning, instead honoring their ancestors and reminding the country that gratitude should come with awareness. Yet Thanksgiving also remains an ever-evolving celebration. For some, it's about family. For others, it's a day to volunteer, share food with neighbors, or simply rest. Its strength lies in how flexible it's become. The story may have started flawed, but what we do with it now, that's up to us. New generations are reinventing Thanksgiving in some delightfully weird ways. There are vegan turkeys made of tofu, gratitude journaling sessions, and entire menus where cranberries take center stage. Social media has turned Thanksgiving into a performance as much as a feast, with food cam moments, TikTok recipes, and the annual flood of first slice videos. Some embrace the chaos, others poke fun at it, but everyone participates in the spectacle. Meanwhile, experimental chefs are ditching the turkey altogether. Lobster, barbecue, sushi, even pizza, all finding a seat at the Thanksgiving table. Because ultimately, Thanksgiving isn't about strict tradition. It's about sharing, connecting, and remembering that even the weirdest rituals carry meaning. When the dishes are done, the family reluctantly leaves. And the leftovers are labeled with Sharpies. There's a quiet moment, the one that maybe matters most. It's the exhale after the madness. The reminder that for all our quirks, arguments, and burnt rolls, Americans keep coming together every year to give thanks, to eat too much, and to celebrate their shared weirdness. Thanksgiving is one of those holidays that makes no logical sense and yet feels completely right. It's messy, contradictory, sentimental, and sincere. It's the kind of day that looks ridiculous on paper and yet somehow feels like home. So wherever you are this Thanksgiving, whether you're deep frying a turkey, watching a balloon the size of a building float through Manhattan, or just finding a quiet corner to be grateful, remember this. The traditions only seem weird because they're ours, and that's exactly what makes them special. Thanks for listening to The Weird and Unexplained with John. Make sure to like, share, and follow for more content.